The title of this particular talk is a convergence of 4 biblical signs. Everything that you're going to see, I've got biblical backing. We start out with Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. Then God said, "Let there be lights in the expanse of the heavens to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years." Notice, signs and seasons. I mean, a lot of times we just think, well, the sun is there, the moon is there, we're simply just going to have days and the moon with its various orbit and so forth. But no, they are for signs and seasons. Signs and seasons. Now, note, God is not promoting astrology. Astrology, which is searching the stars to learn what our day-to-day activities should be, or even to search out our futures by studying the stars, that's forbidden by God. Astronomy, on the other hand, is the study of the movements of the celestial bodies. It is not forbidden. In fact, these God uses as his instruments. They are to be signs for us. What we know is that the heavens are God's galactic billboard. They are one means by which our God communicates to us. Now here are the Hebrew words. The Hebrew word for signs is the word ot. That is a signal, literally or figurative, like a flag or a beacon, a monument, or an omen. Seasons is the word moed or moed. And that is properly an appointment. In other words, God is saying, way back here, he's saying that let them be for signs and for appointments and for days and years. So that word moed properly is an appointment. It is a fixed time or season. It's also a signal, as in something appointed beforehand, appointed as a time and as a season. Now our first sign that we're going to look at is in Revelation 12. So we go from the very beginning of the Scriptures to the very end of the Scriptures. Our first sign. Now these are signs that are converging in our day. Okay? Revelation 12 begins with a great sign appeared in heaven. A woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars, and she was with child. And she cried out, being in labor and in pain to give birth. Then another sign appeared in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his heads were 7 diadems. And his tail swept away a third of the stars of heaven and threw them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth, so that when she gave birth, he might devour her child. And she gave birth to a son, a male child. Now we know that male child is Jesus. She gave birth to a male child who is to rule all the nations with an iron of rod, or a rod of iron. And her child was caught up to God and to his throne. Now, the sign that I'm about to show you appeared over Jerusalem at 5:58 a.m. on March 2nd, 2013. It was confirmed by NASA, and this is what it looked like. Well, that doesn't help too much. Let's add some artwork to it. There we go. Let's got the artwork going. Now, what you need to see here, I can get my little pointer going, is here's the woman, constellation Virgo. She is clothed with the sun. See, it's 5:58 a.m. The sun is on the rise here. So she's clothed with the sun. See the moon? It's under her feet. She's got a crown of 12 stars above her head. Okay? And here's the serpent lying in wait, waiting for that child to be born. Okay? Now, it's likely that this same sign appeared in the first century when Herod gave the decree for all the boys 2 years old and younger to be killed. It's likely. But in order for us to go back and verify that, which would be really nice to do, we'd have to know when the decree was issued to give us in the ballpark. Or we'd have to spend a lot of time with the program, the software program Stellarium, and we just have to look at the night sky over Jerusalem and just keep looking and looking and looking until we found this. But I truly believe that it happened at that time. Now, there's more to this Revelation passage than the announcement of a woman giving birth to a male child who would rule over the nations, and here's the more. And there was war in heaven, Michael and his angels waging war with the dragon. The dragon and his angels waged war, and they were not strong enough, and there was no longer a place found for them in heaven. And the great dragon was thrown down, the serpent of old, who is called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him. Then I heard a loud voice in heaven saying, "Now the salvation and the power and the kingdom of our God and the authority of his Christ have come, for the accuser of our brethren has been thrown down, he who accuses them before our God day and night. Woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has come down to you having great wrath, knowing that he has only a short time. And when the dragon saw that he was thrown down to the earth, he persecuted the woman who gave birth to the male child. But the 2 wings of a great eagle were given to the woman so that she could fly into the wilderness to her place where she was nourished for a time and times and half a time from the presence of the serpent. So the dragon was enraged with the woman and went off to make war with the rest of her children who keep the commandments of God and hold to the testimony of Jesus." So he's going after those who keep the commandments of God and hold to the testimony of Jesus. I believe he's saying he's going to be going after Jews and Christians. Okay, so again, here's the picture. And again, that sign appeared over Jerusalem 5:58 a.m. on March 2nd, 2013. Was confirmed by NASA. Since this sign has appeared, there has been a tremendous increase in persecutions against Christians, and incidences of anti-Semitism have increased throughout the earth. Now, we have ISIS to thank for a lot of this, but not all of it, because a lot of persecutions have been increasing globally, and a lot of anti-Semitism is very much on the rise throughout the nations. Okay? So the first sign is Revelation 12. It has been sighted in the heavens, and the trouble that it points to is on the rise.